I am Alyssa Bierzynski, a Grenadian author of Boy Milo. Ever since I was a little girl, I wanted to be an author. I thought that I would become the next Enid Blyton. And I always loved writing. I was writing stories upon stories, filling notepads after notepads of stories about my adventures and things that I saw happening around me. But it wasn't until that I became a lecturer at the university that I realized that children weren't reading anymore. Children weren't reading as much as I was reading. And every time I asked some of my students what was their favorite book, they couldn't answer the question. And realized that the reason they're not reading is because a lot of our stories that we grew up reading, they're unrelatable to us in the Grenadian Caribbean context. Because we were seeing and reading about protagonists and antagonists and characters that we couldn't relate to. They didn't speak our languages, they didn't sound like us, they didn't look like us. And that was the problem. When the opportunity came around for me to be part of Grenada Schools Incorporated's program to create culturally relevant picture books for Grenadian children that's written and illustrated by Grenadians, I leapt at the opportunity to apply and I was accepted in 2017. Boy Milo was actually written in 2017 and it was the first story that I wrote for that workshop. It happened overnight. We were given words that were representative of the Grenadian experience, words like beach and crab, mango, kite, and I got kite and dog. So I had to go home that night. I went home that night and I had to come up with a story about a dog and a kite. I didn't know where to begin. And my puppy at the time was dragging a coconut branch. It was about twice times his length. And I thought, what if I make my puppy try to fly a kite? And that's where the story behind Boy Milo came from. The determination to get this kite back up in the sky with its friends. I would love to have every Grenadian child with a copy of this book. And by extension, every Caribbean child with a copy of this book. And children around the world too. You don't go into children's book writing to make money. But you go into children's book writing to inspire children, to develop a love of reading and a love of words and a love of expression, and to spark an imagination and to think about things that they wouldn't normally think about. And that's really what I hope for this book, so that children develop a love of reading, so that the future it's a group of adults who are imaginative, who are innovative, who can think outside of the box, and who are critical thinkers. That's really what we need. For other Grenadian writers who would like to get their books published, don't give up.